Did you have any idea what it would take to actually get a product produced?
Oh man.
To go from an idea to this, my God, what a learning curve. Thank you for joining us. I'm Gio, this is Todd, and welcome to Bench Critters. And Todd, we have landed on product number 1.
We have indeed. And if you guys have seen the introduction video, then you know what we're doing and why.
But before we see these, let's take a quick look at what it took us to get to this point.
So what are we saying? Cookies and mats first?
I would say so. And I also like the idea that you've got for the shape. I think that will work.
I need to take some measurements and stuff like that and get this worked out as far as the design goes. But yeah, I'll do that work down in the shop and get these measurements together and draw it up and send it over. 65 millimeters, 25 millimeters of clearance. These are going to be perfect. Have you opened that file I sent you?
Okay, yes. But instant reaction, that is a really good shape.
Cool, I'm glad you like it, man.
Oh, it's in, hang on, it's in millimeters for me, thank you. Is that going to do what you want? How many orientations is that?
Well, it's 3 orientations. It's 3 orientations. So it's 35 millimeters, 65 millimeters, 85 millimeters.
What is it in ancient Greek?
Yeah, it's 1.5 inches, 2.5 inches, 3.3 inches. So yeah, I think that more than covers it, you know?
Perfect. Remember what we said about wanting to pop a wall mount, to use a wall mount for these?
Yes.
I've got an idea for how I can do that. So if I can I use this exact shape and I'll work that up?
Yeah, man, as long as you're happy with that design, go for it.
Well, if the wall mount's a good design, we'll probably get a... Oh man, I love that.
Oh man, I love that.
I did go through all of them, all of the samples from the manufacturers, because they've all arrived with me now, so I'm assuming you've had them all too.
I have, and I really think we need to go with silicone, man.
I'm glad you said that, because it was kind of a no-brainer, to be honest. I know we ordered loads of stuff, but it is so much better, and it grips like crazy.
It does. I love that stuff, man. And it's so much better than I thought it would be, actually.
Well, if you're happy, I'm going to go ahead and get it 3D CAD designed.
Yeah, go ahead with it. I love the thought of being able to adjust the hardness. I mean, that almost makes this a proprietary compound, you know?
Well, you're not joking on that coffee, so that's a good start. But I'm assuming you've seen these costs.
Oh yeah, I've seen them. Wow.
If we want to do it that way, if we want the thickness that we want, the size that we want, if we want to go for the debossing rather than the printing, which, you know, we do.
We do.
And we want to use a silicone for the holder, because those things need a metal core. It is custom molds all the way.
Yeah.
And I know what I want to do. I know what I think, but I thought I should see what your thoughts are.
Well, I think we're at the point we've reached a fork in the road, and it comes down to vision versus cost, I believe.
It does. In fact, I think it's quality versus cost. I think that's where we are. I really do.
Yeah, I think so too. We've said all along that quality comes first, and if it doesn't, what makes us different from anyone else when it comes right down to it, you know?
This is the definition of put your money where your mouth is.
Indeed, it is. But I say we go with it.
Well, I'm in complete agreement, and I'm glad that you said that, because I've already told them to go ahead and to price up all of the molds.
Oh yeah. So you're filling me out here. You're just testing me to make sure I'm on board, yeah?
Congratulations. I wanted you on camera. I'm circling a number. I want to see your reaction. That one there is the mold cost.
Oh wow. Really? Oh my goodness, man. I hope more than a couple of people like these things.
Me too. Can you go right or perhaps go left?
It's our molds. That's killer.
It is. It is. Well, this one is this is our mass production mold for the blocks. We're still going with a sample mold for the holder because we're definitely going to need some changes for that, but they are ready now. They're both ready, so we can get the samples made. They can do that now.
How long you think, or what are they saying as far as time goes?
3 weeks, I think.
Killer. This is it, man. This is getting real.
Do you see what I mean though about that color?
I do, and I agree with you 100%. It doesn't feel premium. We're gonna have to change it.
I think it needs dialing right back. It looks neon. This is the thing that's going to sit in people's workshops. Do you know what I mean? That's the thing that's got to be right.
I agree. We said all along, product first. We got to stick to that. We have to.
Look, I've left the plastic on as proof that I didn't open these and repackage them before you could see.
I see that. I see that. I am so impressed.
We've got 2 holders that have the metal core inside in the original color green, which is the color that we weren't happy with because we didn't think it looked premium. And then I've got 2 without the metal core in the new colors we picked.
Here we go.
Oh, that's it. That's the one.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. I can see that from here. That's killer. Yeah, I love that color. That's it.
We are done. I approved the final changes for the spec. So the next video I think that we're doing is going to be in the workshop with the full set.
Awesome. I can't wait.
And here they are. And I think probably the first thing that's worth saying is what we absolutely haven't done is produce a set of bench cookies.
No, we haven't. We've taken some of what cookies do, added to that, and come up with something completely unique. But more importantly, it's a thoughtful solution, and I love that.
It is. So actually, how about we take a quick look? We should probably explain what we set ourselves as a challenge, because it was quite a list. First up, we wanted to create a set of blocks that you can pop on your bench that grip like crazy in more than one height orientation without adding any extra bits, so that when you're doing things like sanding and routing, whether you're polishing, your workpiece is held really securely.
We wanted 3 different height elevations for things like glue ups, so you can get even your largest clamps underneath your workpiece.
We also wanted a really clever and thoughtful storage solution for the blocks so that we can get them off the shelves and onto walls for anyone that wants to, and to make them really easily accessible.
And finally, they need to be durable, super long lasting quality, water and heat resistant, easily washable and cleanable.
And ideally have nothing stick to them. So we gave ourselves quite a list of things that we really wanted to solve. Okay, I'm opening, Todd. Are you opening?
I am indeed.
I even like the box and the bag. That was a good idea.
Oh man, as do I. I think that's part of the experience. You know, that gives such a great accent to the premium feel of these things, I believe.
Do you remember when we said whenever you order a tool or something, as soon as you unbox it and you get it in your hands, you make a quality judgment instantly?
You absolutely do.
That is exactly what I wanted them to feel like right from the start.
Me too, man. I mean, they're hefty, you know? Awesome. I love the color as well.
Yeah, me too. Now, I know we're just itching to just talk about our experience and what we think about these things, but let's do the sensible bit first and just talk about how we've actually solved those problems and what they do. So let's start with the holder. So first off, from early on, we wanted to produce a really clever storage solution for these things that could be wall mounted.
So we've produced a soft touch silicone holder with a metal core, 3 holes in the base so you can mount this if you choose to. I think we nailed it.
We have absolutely nailed it. It's super low profile. It's hidden behind the blocks once they're installed. You pop 3 blocks per side. Super easy to get them on and off. And Todd, speaking of the blocks.
Yeah, and this I think is the clever part. We wanted to maximize the functionality in the simplest form possible, and I think that's exactly what we've done.
We have, and we wanted to produce a simple shape that would actually get us to 3 different height orientations and that it will grip in all of those. So, well, the first 2, which is the flat orientation and the sideways orientation, are the super grippy ones, which are the ones that we think people will use for things like raising your workpiece and gripping it for sanding, routing and polishing and actually working it. The side orientation and the upright orientation are the ones where you'll probably use those if you really need to lift the workpiece up, either for finishing, but more likely for glue ups and clamping, because you'll get even the biggest clamps underneath here.
And one of the things right from the start is that we wanted to be able to use these one-handed. Simply raise your workpiece and flip these to any of the 3 orientations.
And the material is what makes all the difference here. These things are solid silicone. They're our own compound and finish. And man, Todd, how many compounds, finishes and variations of these things did we test? Actually, hold on, because I can show you. I still have them. These are, I've got every single variation of finish, of hardness, softness, dust oil, anti-dust oil, non-anti-dust oil finish on them.
So the answer is many.
It is. Yes. Many is the right answer, but they are dead on what they need to be now. And the other great thing about them being silicone is that they're completely water resistant, they are highly heat resistant, and these things will last for decades. And longevity, quality was something that is really important for us.
The other great thing about these being solid silicone is nothing sticks to these things. Epoxy, wood glue, peels straight off, you give them a rinse under the tap, they're as good as new.
They are, absolutely, and I've done that so many times already, and they look brand new again, which is fantastic. So that details all of the problems and the way that we've solved it. But I know that we're actually both just itching to talk about what we think of these things, Todd. But I think we nailed the brief. I really do.
I do too, man. We have come up with something completely unique here, and I am just happy as can be about it.
No, I feel exactly the same. And it's the simplicity for me. We've both got that thing we love doing, making the simplest possible solution to the problem. And I think that's exactly what we have done. And they look good. Like, how nice do they feel and look?
I mean, the nice rolled edges, the embossing is super crisp and clear. They feel nice and velvety, smooth. I kind of was worried about that in the beginning, but no, we got this, man. These are so premium feeling. They just really are. They're great. And I've thought of not less than 100 different uses for these things, just pulling them out of the box, you know?
Well, you could bake your wood on them in the oven if you wanted to do that.
You could. Roasted maple.
The other bit that we didn't talk about, which was a decision that we took quite early, was to do 6 in a set. You know, when you buy these if you buy like normal bench cookies, you always get 4 in a set. And I know you can get the big set for like $80 or whatever it is, which have got 8 in them. But it didn't really cost that much more to just give people 6. Like, I needed 6 more than a few times.
Oh man, I'm telling you, I feel the same way, and we wanted to add some value to this, and it seemed mean just to do 4, you know? Well, and another thing about that is these, you've said this I think already, but the fact that the holder is almost completely hidden by the blocks when it's mounted, you know, that creates a really unique shape. That's one of the first things I noticed about this whole set when you take it out of the box, is that shape that it creates. I love that.
Yeah, and I know that we've been pretty much talking about what they do and the benefits of them, but we did actually want to design something that looks cool too. We all like things that look cool in our shop, right? And that was, you know, secondary to functionality and quality. That was part of it.
And one of the most unique things in my shop for certain.
And also having seen the debossing, the lettering on both the blocks and on the holder, I'm so glad that we went with that over the printing. That was one of our early decisions, of which there were many. But one of the early decisions was to not go with printing, because at some point that would just wear off, whereas the debossing just looks great and it will last forever.
It will. That'll still be there as long as these blocks are in use, and that was an absolute smart decision on our part, I think.
And actually that does kind of lead on to the next bit, because I was going to say to you, did you have any idea what it would take to actually get a product produced? to go from an idea to this. My God, what a learning curve.
Oh man, well, when we first started out on this, you know, and we've had this discussion before about why so many startups don't make it any further. It's, you don't consider half the things that have to happen in the background, or I say half the things, you don't consider 90% of the things that have to go on in the background to get something like this to happen.
I can see why so many people stop month one. But I think it was me. I can't remember when it was you or me that said right at the beginning, how hard can it be? And the temptation, and that's one of the other things, is because it takes so long to go from idea to having a finished product, the temptation, because we have incremental, you know, we've had a series of 100 incremental decisions as we've gone along. The temptation to cut costs is like overwhelming. I can totally see why companies do that.
I can as well. But, you know, in the end, and one of the things that really struck a chord with me right up front is we kept going back to the fact that we wanted to produce something that was super high quality.
We were saying before that product quality is not something that you decide in one go. It's a stage, it's a series of decisions that you make that kind of bring your product down to here, because each one of them is very easy to cut a little bit here and a little bit there, and by the time you get to the end you don't have what you originally intended.
You know, we didn't sacrifice anything on these. I am also so proud of us for sticking to our guns on that.
I am too. The holder was one of those decisions. Do you remember that? We could have gone, like the intelligent the intelligent person would have gone with a hard plastic holder rather than something silicone that feels really nice, because we needed to put metal cores and everything else in these, and it's just a much more expensive process to do it that way. But just feel, you know, it's just nice. It's just a nicer product done this way.
It is. And I mean, hard plastic, you always would have ran into the issue of over time it would have gotten brittle, they would have broken. We don't want product failure. These things will last. The holder needs to last as long as the blocks last. And that being the case, we made the only decision we can make, I think. Man, sometime in the near future, we should make a video on what it actually takes to produce a product.
Yeah, that would be, my God, that would be a long video.
I'm hoping that people get enough, you know, from these couple of videos that we've posted already to really get a glimpse into what goes on behind the scenes when you're trying to do something like this.
Yeah, actually that is a really good idea, and something that I think would be good for the channel, because I mean this is the first of 9 products that we want to get done and out there, so perhaps people will find it interesting. Let us know if you find it interesting to know what it takes to get something produced.
And on that note, they are being produced right now and should be here in a couple of weeks.
So if you are going to be interested, you can head over to the website. It's live now, and pop your email address in. That's how we're going to let people know as soon as they're available.
We're hoping and expecting these to go really fast, and we do have limited quantities of these. We're not sure when we're going to be able to have a second run produced, so it is very important that you get over to the website if you're going to want a set for yourself.
And they do come with our "these are awesome" seal of approval But actually, we've agreed, have we not, that we're going to do a 30-day 100% money back guarantee. That just seems to be the easiest thing to do for these, because neither of us are salesmen. we've agreed.
Oh yeah, I think that'll probably be across the board with our products, you know.
Yeah, why not? So the next video for this channel might be one of those 60-second product demonstration ones, or depending on when this video goes out, it might be a Merry Christmas video.
It might indeed. Get my Santa feel on.
Yeah, see Todd in the fuggliest Christmas sweater ever.
Don't forget the hat.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going all in. Thank you all so much for your support so far. We're really counting on that as we move into the future. We've got tons of plans. We got tons of products to get released, and we're counting on you guys to get behind us on this. So thank you once again, and we'll see you in the next video.
Awesome.
That work?